Before the first light, before the birth of stars or space, there was silence. Not the silence of empty air, but the absolute absence of anything, no sound, no distance, no movement. The human mind cannot truly imagine it. Even to picture blackness is to imagine a place where blackness can exist. But before time began, there was no place at all. And yet, from that unimaginable nothingness, something happened. The void trembled, a flicker of energy, smaller than a dream, briefer than a breath. In that instant, time was born. We call it the Big Bang, though it was not a bang nor a sound. It was the beginning of expansion, the instant when space itself began to stretch, carrying within it the potential for everything that would ever exist. The laws of physics did not yet have names. Gravity and light were not yet separate things. There was only becoming a surge from stillness into motion. This is the first mystery. How can nothing produce something? What force existed before existence itself? We do not know. But perhaps, hidden within the silence before time, the answer still waits, echoing through every atom, whispering through the dark between galaxies. The memory of the moment when nothing became everything. In the beginning, there was fire, not flame, but raw energy. The newborn universe expanded faster than light itself, a storm of creation unfolding in every direction at once. Within the first heartbeat of time, heat unimaginable filled the void. Particles blinked into existence, collided, vanished, and were born again. Matter and antimatter waged their silent war, and from their near annihilation, a remnant of matter remained enough to build every star, every planet, every breath. Then came the first light, not yet visible to any eye, but radiance nonetheless, the universe cooling enough for photons to roam free. The first dawn without a sun, for hundreds of thousands of years, light and matter danced together, until at last, the fog cleared, and the cosmos became transparent. That ancient light still travels today, stretched by time, turned into the faint glow we call the cosmic microwave background. It is the oldest message in existence, a snapshot of the moment when the universe first opened its eyes. To look at that light is to see our own beginning, frozen in motion, whispering across eternity. In that glow lies proof that everything we know, every life, every world, began not with destruction, but with illumination. As the universe cooled, a new force began to shape the chaos, gravity. Invisible, patient, and unrelenting, it drew matter together, turning clouds of hydrogen into the first stars. Each star was a furnace of transformation. Within their hearts, the first elements beyond hydrogen were born: helium, carbon, oxygen, iron. From starlight came chemistry. But gravity was not finished. It gathered billions of stars into vast spirals, galaxies, and galaxies into clusters that would weave the great cosmic web. Across eons, stars lived and died. When the most massive of them collapsed, they exploded, scattering their inner fire back into space. The ashes of those explosions became the building blocks of planets, oceans, and life. Every atom in your body was once forged inside a star that no longer exists. You are not separate from the cosmos, you are its memory, shaped into awareness. The same gravity that binds the galaxies holds you to the earth. The same fire that lit the first stars still burns in your cells. The sculptor of stars never stopped working. It is shaping you even now. Every motion, every pattern, every unfolding in the cosmos follows laws. Not written in ink or stone, but in mathematics, invisible symmetries guiding the universe from chaos into order. These laws are astonishingly simple, yet unimaginably powerful. The same equation that describes the fall of an apple can map the orbit of galaxies. Why do these laws exist? Why not randomness? Some physicists believe the laws are eternal, the backbone of reality itself. Others suspect they evolved as the universe cooled, crystallizing out of quantum fog like ice from vapor. But one thing is clear. Without them, the universe would be nothing but noise, no structure, no time, no thought. The laws of nature are not just rules. They are possibilities made real. Through them, hydrogen becomes stars. Through them, stars become life. Through them, chaos learns how to dream. And yet, we do not know where these laws came from, or why they are as they are. They are the music behind existence, a melody without a composer. Perhaps the universe itself is that composer, a self-writing symphony, learning its own rhythm as it expands.
To our eyes, space looks empty. But emptiness is a trick, a silence filled with invisible sound. Even in perfect vacuum, energy shimmers beneath reality's surface. Particles appear, vanish, and reappear, obeying the strange rules of the quantum world. This hidden activity, the quantum vacuum, may be the most mysterious thing of all, because it means nothing isn't truly nothing. It's a restless sea of potential, constantly creating and destroying itself. Some scientists believe our universe began as one of these fluctuations, a tiny ripple in the quantum field that refused to collapse. It expanded instead, becoming everything. In this view, creation required no spark, no divine hand, only the natural instability of the void. But even this explanation leads to a deeper puzzle. If the laws of physics allow universes to form from nothing, then those laws must have existed before the universe did. And so, we are left with the same haunting question. Where did the rules come from? Who or what wrote the script that allowed the void to dream itself into being? Beneath all matter lies a sea without surface, the quantum field. Invisible, infinite, alive with motion, it hums beneath existence itself. In this ocean, particles are not objects but waves of probability here, there, and everywhere at once. Nothing is truly still. Even the emptiest vacuum boils with unseen energy. The universe we see, stars, dust, atoms, floats like foam on this invisible tide. Physicists call these fluctuations virtual particles. They flash into being and vanish again in less than a heartbeat, yet their presence shapes everything. Without this quantum ocean, atoms could not bind, light could not shine, and gravity itself might not exist. Some theories suggest that the Big Bang began as a single fluctuation in this eternal field, a tiny bubble that inflated, cooled, and became our universe. If that is true, then reality did not begin from nothing, but from something deeper, a restless energy that never sleeps. The quantum ocean is not a place. It is potential itself. Every electron, every planet, every thought was once a vibration in its infinite waves. And maybe, somewhere beyond our reach, new universes are still forming other bubbles, other beginnings, rising from the same unseen sea. The void is not empty. It is pregnant with everything that could ever be. Time is the quietest mystery of all. We feel it, measure it, live within its current, yet we cannot see it. Time was born with the universe. It did not exist before the Big Bang. There was no before for anything to happen in. As the cosmos expanded, time began to stretch with it, one heartbeat of creation after another. But in those first fractions of a second, the flow of time was not like ours. Billions of events passed in the blink of a moment. Then, as energy cooled and structure formed, the pace of time slowed, and the arrow of time, the direction from past to future, began to take shape. Why does time move forward? Why can we remember yesterday, but never tomorrow? Physicists say the answer lies in entropy, the natural drift from order to disorder. The universe began in perfect symmetry, and ever since, that perfection has been unraveling. every star that burns, every life that fades, every breath we take, moves the cosmos further from its original simplicity. The flow of time is not an illusion, it is the echo of creation itself, the spreading of possibility. Time began when the universe began. It will end only when the last star dies. When we look far enough into the cosmos, we see not one story, but many. Some scientists believe our universe is only one bubble in an infinite sea, the multiverse. Each bubble a separate cosmos, with its own laws of physics, its own geometry, perhaps even its own version of life. In this endless inflation, new universes form forever, their boundaries forever expanding. We will never meet them, yet they exist, born from the same quantum seed that birthed us. In some, gravity might crush everything into black holes. In others, atoms might never form. And perhaps, in one universe among countless trillions, the balance was perfect, the one that became ours. If infinity exists, then everything possible happens somewhere. There may be another Earth, another you, another moment repeating endlessly in space and time. The multiverse is both comforting and terrifying. It means we are not unique, yet also that existence is far larger than we can imagine. We are one spark in an infinite fire, a single breath in an eternal storm. And still, we wonder why this universe, this version of us, came to be. What if the universe needed no cause at all? What if it created itself? The idea seems impossible, but physics whispers otherwise. The total energy of the universe may equal exactly zero. The positive energy of matter is balanced perfectly by the negative energy of gravity. In that case, the universe could have emerged from nothing without breaking a single law. Stephen Hawking believed this. He said that because there is a law such as gravity, the universe can and will create itself from nothing. It sounds like magic, but it is pure mathematics. The laws of nature allow the void to fluctuate, and that fluctuation becomes existence. Yet this raises a haunting thought. If the laws created the universe, where did the laws come from? Perhaps the laws are not separate from the universe. Perhaps they are its essence, the code written into its being. The cosmos is not a product, it is a process. It is not an object, it is an act. The universe may be the ultimate self, an idea that became aware enough to bring itself to life. From the cooling ashes of the Big Bang came stars. From stars came planets. From planets came life. And from life came something new, awareness. The universe, once blind, began to see itself. Every human mind is a spark of that awakening, a tiny flame of consciousness burning within cosmic darkness. We are stardust that learn to ask questions. The elements that once forged in fire now wonder why fire exists. Across billions of years, the universe has grown more complex, from chaos to chemistry, from chemistry to thought. Perhaps this was inevitable. Perhaps consciousness is not an accident, but a feature of reality itself, the universe's way of knowing it exists. When you gaze at the night sky, you are the cosmos looking back at itself. The light you see began its journey before there were eyes to see it. Now, through you, the light completes its circle. The fire that once burned in the first stars still burns in us, but now it can think. When the first stars died, they left behind the ingredients of creation. Clouds of stardust drifted through space, gathering again under gravity's patient pull. Within those clouds, new suns were born, and around them tiny disks of dust and ice began to swirl. From collision came form. From chaos came planets. Worlds were sculpted by violence. Asteroids struck, volcanoes roared, oceans boiled and cooled. Yet from that turmoil came stability, the quiet conditions where chemistry could begin its slow and secret work. Not all planets survived. Many froze. Many burned. But one world, orbiting a small yellow star in an ordinary arm of a spiral galaxy, balanced perfectly between chaos and calm. Its name would one day be whispered by its own inhabitants, Earth. The makers of worlds, gravity, time, and chance had produced something extraordinary. A cradle not of fire, but of memory, awaiting the first breath. Every atom here carries the ashes of ancient stars. Every stone remembers explosions from before time had meaning. The birth of planets was not the end of creation. It was the beginning of something far more mysterious, the emergence of life itself. Somewhere in the young ocean of a newborn world, a whisper stirred a pattern that could copy itself. That pattern was fragile, yet it endured. From the soup of molecules came order, then structure, then will. Life began not in an instant, but through billions of small chances. At first, it was simple. Cells dividing in the dark, feeding on sunlight and minerals. Then, slowly, complexity blossomed shapes with senses, motion, hunger. Evolution became the sculptor of life, carving endless forms from a single spark. From microbes came forests. From forests came creatures that could move, that could dream. Earth became alive, a blue world pulsing with awareness. Yet life was never separate from the universe. It was the universe experimenting with itself, matter organizing, testing, learning. The laws that govern galaxies also guided cells. Gravity and light became breath and heartbeat. And in every direction, the same process was unfolding: chemistry learning to feel. The breath of life was the breath of the cosmos itself, the same wind that once stirred the fires of creation. Every living thing carries a history written in atoms. The calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood, the oxygen in your lungs, all forged long ago in the hearts of stars that no longer exist. When those stars died, they scattered themselves across the galaxy. You are built from their remains, stardust arranged into awareness. The universe remembers itself through you. When you breathe, you return ancient atoms to the air, passing fragments of extinct suns into the next generation of life. Memory, then, is not only in minds, it is in matter, the continuity of form across time. The stars are not gone, they have changed shape. They now walk the earth, think, love, and wonder. This realization collapses distance. The night sky is not a ceiling above us, it is our reflection, scattered through eternity. To know this is to feel the unity of everything. We are not observers of the universe. We are its living continuation. The memory of stars glows in every heartbeat. When we gaze upward, we are only remembering home. Out of the jungle of neurons, awareness arose. Life learned to think, to imagine, to question. The universe, once blind, had grown eyes. Through consciousness, matter crossed a threshold. No longer just reacting, it began reflecting. Thought is the cosmos turned inward. Every question ever asked, from a child's wonder to a philosopher's doubt, is an echo of the first act of creation, the leap from nothing to something. The human mind, fragile as it is, contains galaxies of its own, billions of neurons firing in cosmic rhythm. Each thought is a spark, a tiny imitation of the birth of stars. But awareness carries weight. To know we exist is to feel the burden of mystery. We ask why because the universe itself is asking through us. The rise of mind is not an accident of evolution. It is the continuation of a cosmic pattern complexity seeking self-knowledge. From atoms to stars, from life to thought, the same law persists. Creation giving rise to awareness. The cosmos is not merely observed. It is thinking through us. Among all creatures, one began to look beyond survival, beyond hunger, beyond fear. Early humans watched the night sky and saw patterns in the stars. They made stories, gods, and myths to explain what they could not name. Yet behind every myth was the same longing. Why are we here? Firelight flickered in caves while questions burned in their minds. They did not yet know atoms or galaxies, but they sensed a vastness beyond comprehension. With time came tools, and with tools came knowledge. The night sky became a map. The planets became places. The heavens, once divine, became real. But knowledge did not end wonder. The more we learned, the deeper the mystery grew. We built telescopes to see farther, accelerators to look smaller, equations to describe the invisible. Yet every answer revealed another layer of questions. Humanity became the universe's detective, searching for the origin of the very stage it stands upon. And still, the ancient question persists. If everything has a cause, what caused everything? The stars remain silent, but their silence is not empty. It is waiting for us to listen. Everything we touch feels solid: tables, stones, our own bodies. But the closer we look, the less real solidity becomes. Inside every atom lies almost nothing. The nucleus, unimaginably small, sits at the center of a vast, empty space. Electrons do not orbit like planets. They shimmer as clouds of probability. The universe, it seems, is mostly void. And yet, this emptiness builds everything. How can something so insubstantial form mountains, oceans, and thought? The answer lies in the quantum world, where particles are not objects, but possibilities. They exist in many states until observed, when they collapse into one. Reality, then, is not fixed. It is fluid, responsive, and participatory. The chair beneath you, the air around you, the stars above you, all are stable illusions, born of vibration and chance. When you touch the world, you are touching energy, arranged by invisible laws. What we call matter is light, slowed down and bound together. The illusion of solidity is a miracle of order, the universe holding itself still long enough to wonder what it is. In the quantum realm, observation is not passive. It changes what is seen. Before we measure a particle, it exists in a haze of probability here and there at once. But the moment we observe it, the possibilities collapse into one outcome. This is the observer's paradox. Does observation create reality? Or does it simply choose among what already exists? The answer remains uncertain and unsettling. Some physicists suggest consciousness itself is the missing ingredient, the bridge between potential and existence. Others insist that observation is only another form of interaction, that nature measures itself constantly. Yet, even if no one is watching, the question haunts us. Does the universe exist without someone to know it? John Wheeler once proposed that the universe is participatory, that the act of observation throughout cosmic history helps bring reality into being. In that sense, we are not late arrivals. We are part of the equation. The observer and the observed are inseparable, two sides of a single act of creation still unfolding. Look into a mirror, and you see yourself, but only because light returns to your eyes. Awareness works the same way. The universe reflects itself through every conscious mind. When a bird sings, when a child laughs, when a scientist studies the stars, each is an act of the cosmos observing itself. Perhaps awareness is not confined to life at all. Perhaps consciousness is a fundamental property of the universe, like gravity or space. Every atom interacts, every photon responds. In a sense, everything knows something about everything else. Life may be the flowering of that knowing, the point where awareness becomes self-aware. When you think, the universe thinks through you. When you wonder, it remembers itself. To be conscious is to be a mirror of existence, to reflect infinity in a finite mind. The mirror of awareness does not distort, it completes. For without awareness, the universe would remain unseen. A poem without a reader, a dream without a dreamer. Science and spirit have long walked separate paths, one measuring, the other meaning. Yet the farther science goes, the more it approaches the language of wonder. Equations describe the birth of the universe with precision, but not with purpose. Numbers can reveal the how, but never the why. Still, the two paths may not be enemies. The mathematician and the mystic both gaze into the same abyss, one with formulas, the other with faith. Both seek unity, both search for the order that holds everything together. Perhaps the equation is the soul written in numbers, and the soul is the equation felt as awe. Physics speaks of symmetry and balance. Spirituality speaks of harmony and love. Two words for one truth. Maybe the universe does not separate knowledge from meaning. Maybe it requires both to exist. For understanding without wonder is empty, and wonder without understanding is blind. Together, they form the light by which reality sees itself. The universe is not a machine, it is a symphony. Each particle, each field, each force is a note in a composition older than time. Gravity hums in low tones, holding galaxies together. Electromagnetism dances in the high notes, weaving atoms and light. Quantum fields provide rhythm, while entropy gives the melody motion, forever moving from order toward freedom. This music has no conductor, yet it plays with perfect coherence. We are born into the middle of the song, unable to hear its beginning or its end, yet part of it nonetheless. Mathematics is the language of this music. When we solve equations, we are not inventing patterns, we are remembering them. The harmony of the cosmos is not random, it is relational. Each law depends on the others, and together they form a balance, delicate beyond comprehension. The stars, the oceans, the pulse of your heart all vibrate to the same unseen score. And perhaps the composer is the symphony itself. Music creating the musician, melody giving birth to the ear that hears it. The universe is balanced on a knife's edge. Change one law, even slightly, and everything collapses. If gravity were stronger, stars would burn out in moments. If it were weaker, they would never ignite. The charge of the electron, the strength of nuclear forces, the speed of light, each tuned with impossible precision. We live in a cosmos that seems made for life. Some call it coincidence, others, design. Scientists call it fine-tuning the mystery of why the numbers that define existence are so exact. The probability of a universe like ours arising by chance is almost zero. Yet here we are, asking why. Maybe we exist because we had to. Maybe consciousness is written into the equation itself, an inevitable outcome of balance and symmetry. Or perhaps there are countless other universes, each with different laws, and only this one happens to harbor life to notice. Whatever the reason, fine-tuning feels less like accident and more like invitation, a whisper that the cosmos knows what it's doing. Earth is a fragile miracle. From a distance, it is only a blue shimmer wrapped in white cloud. Up close, it is a library of time. Every rock and river a record of survival. For billions of years, life has adapted, evolved, and endured. A dance between chaos and order, chance and persistence. Our planet orbits at the perfect distance from its star, with just the right mass to hold its air, just the right tilt to create seasons. Too much heat, lifeless desert. Too little frozen silence. But here, in the narrow band of possibility, the elements found harmony. The same carbon that burns in stars now breathes in lungs. The same water that cooled volcanoes now carries blood through veins. Life, against all odds, learned how to flourish, not as a miracle that defies nature, but as nature's finest expression. The fragile miracle of Earth reminds us, balance is not static. It is dynamic, alive, and endlessly creative. We call it randomness. But perhaps chance is another word for patterns too vast to perceive. Every toss of a particle, every mutation of a gene, every decision that shaped history, all governed by probability, yet somehow converging toward complexity. In the chaos of motion, order hides. The branching of trees mirrors the flow of rivers, which mirrors the paths of lightning, which mirrors the shapes of galaxies. Coincidence, it seems, has structure. The architecture of chance builds worlds, designs lives, and writes destinies without intent. The same mathematical curves that describe turbulence in a storm describe the clustering of galaxies. The universe is a gambler, but one who always wins. From apparent randomness emerges beauty, symmetry, and life, as if the dice were loaded with purpose. Perhaps chance is not the opposite of meaning, but its method. From the first spark to the glow of distant stars, light has carried the story of the cosmos. It travels at a speed no shadow can outrun, connecting the birth of galaxies to the eyes that see them. Light reveals, but it also records. Every photon that strikes your retina began its journey eons ago. When you gaze at a star, you are seeing history still in motion, ancient energy arriving as proof that time remembers. Light writes the autobiography of the universe across the black pages of space. Yet light is also paradox. It behaves as both particle and wave, as if existence refuses to choose a single form. Perhaps light is not simply energy. Perhaps it is awareness itself, the link between what is seen and the act of seeing. From the beginning, light has been the messenger, the bridge between matter and mind, the language through which the universe tells its own story. Long pause. Mathematics is not invention, it is discovery. Equations existed before minds could write them. They are the fingerprints of order. The same formulas that describe the orbit of planets explain the spiral of seashells and the heartbeat of stars. Beauty in nature is not decoration. It is geometry, proportion, and resonance. When we solve a problem, we are not imposing reason upon chaos. We are uncovering harmony already there. The music of mathematics plays silently through creation. It defines symmetry, balance, and motion. Even randomness bows to it. For every pattern of noise conceals rhythm when viewed from afar. The language of numbers is the breath of the cosmos. Precise, eternal, and strangely human. Perhaps we find mathematics beautiful because the universe built us from its same logic. When we count the stars, we are not measuring them, we are remembering them. The universe has a direction forward, not in space, but in time. This direction is defined by a single rule: entropy. Every system, every star, every life moves from order toward disorder. Ice melts, stars burn out, memories fade. Entropy is not destruction, it is diffusion energy, spreading until balance is reached. This is the law of forgetting, written into the heart of reality. From the perfect symmetry of the Big Bang, the universe has been slowly unraveling, exchanging clarity for complexity. But in that unraveling, something beautiful emerged: structure. Stars formed because the cosmos cooled unevenly. Life evolved because entropy created room for change. Without this gentle decay, nothing could move, grow, or feel. The arrow of time is the price of creation. It gives the universe direction and us mortality. Entropy ensures that no moment will ever repeat, making each one precious beyond measure. The universe forgets so that life can remember. Far into the future, The stars will fade, hydrogen will burn away, galaxies will dim, and black holes will rule the darkness. Even they will eventually evaporate, releasing their energy into an ever-cooling sea of space. This is not tragedy. It is completion. The universe, having created everything, will return to stillness. Some call it the heat death. Others, the quiet eternity. The moment when energy spreads so thin that no motion, no life, no thought can remain. Yet even then, the story does not truly end. Information, the fabric of existence, may never be lost. Every particle that ever was could be preserved in the subtle mathematics of the cosmos. If so, then nothing is ever truly gone, only transformed. The slow collapse of everything is not a fall, but a return. The universe breathing out after an infinite inhale. Long before the final darkness, consciousness may spread among the stars. Artificial minds, evolved intelligences, or something entirely new may carry memory beyond planets and suns. Perhaps awareness will no longer depend on flesh or form, but exist as pure pattern thought woven into light. Already, our machines echo the architecture of neurons, mimicking the way the universe itself organizes information. Could it be that intelligence is the cosmos's most enduring structure? That even as matter fades, meaning will persist. Somewhere, perhaps, long after our species is dust, awareness may still contemplate the question we ask now. Why does anything exist at all? If so, then thought is not confined to biology. It is the final expression of order, the last resistance against entropy. The persistence of thought is the persistence of the universe's own curiosity. Imagine the final moment, the last photon, the last whisper of warmth in the cosmic dark. Even then, the universe may remember the equations that describe its birth, the information written into every quantum state. These are not destroyed. They are folded back into the fabric of space. The memory of being remains, like a book closed but never erased. Perhaps, in ways beyond time, that memory will one day awaken again, not as repetition, but as renewal. Another universe, another beginning. And in that beginning, perhaps another kind of life will rise, to look at its own stars and wonder, as we do now. The story of existence may never truly end. It only changes its handwriting. We search for meaning as if it lies hidden somewhere beyond the stars. But perhaps the meaning of the universe is not out there at all. Perhaps it is within the act of searching itself. Every question we ask keeps creation alive. Every act of wonder continues the unfolding of reality. The purpose of the cosmos may not be a destination. It may be a conversation between what exists and what dreams of existing. Purpose is not something we find. It is something we create by asking why. When a mind looks at the night sky and feels awe, the universe experiences itself as beauty. When we study its laws, it experiences itself as understanding. The quiet purpose of existence is not to reach an answer, but to keep the question alive. For in that question, in that spark of curiosity, lies everything that ever was and everything that ever will be. Every eye that opens is the universe awakening again. From the smallest creature sensing light to the human gaze reaching across galaxies, awareness has always been the cosmos learning to see itself. You are not separate from that process. The atoms that form your eyes once burned in the cores of ancient stars. When you look outward, those same atoms look back at their own origin. We are not observers, we are reflections. Each moment of awareness is the completion of a circle, energy returning to recognition. The cosmos made eyes to witness its own beauty, ears to hear its own music, and minds to ask why beauty and music exist at all. Through you, the universe becomes conscious of its own existence. Perhaps that is the real creation story. Not a beginning long ago, but an awakening happening still. Every time a mind opens in wonder, science divides the universe into forces, particles, and fields. Yet the deeper we look, the more they blur into one. The equations of physics converge toward unity, as if every distinction is temporary, every boundary an illusion. The cosmos behaves like a single organism. Its galaxies, veins, its stars, cells, its energy, the pulse of something alive. We often think of life as rare, but perhaps life is simply the universe recognizing itself in miniature. Every system that maintains balance, every structure that evolves, participates in that unity. To call it divine is poetry. To call it natural is science. Both describe the same truth. All is one, endlessly transforming, never repeating, yet always connected. The unity beneath everything is not a theory. It is the quiet fact that nothing truly stands alone. Reality can be written in symbols, but it can also be felt. The laws of physics are not static. They evolve, adapt, and interact. Like a heartbeat, the universe pulses between extremes. Energy and matter, chaos and order, silence and sound. Each balance creates the next. As if the cosmos were solving itself, refining its own formula with every moment of existence. The living equation is not confined to laboratories. It is visible in the spiral of galaxies, the pattern of storms, the branching of trees, and the rhythm of thought. To exist is to participate in calculation, an infinite computation whose result is always now. We are variables in that equation, brief but essential. And maybe when we dream, we glimpse the formula dreaming back. We began with a question. How can something come from nothing? After all this searching, we find the answer may be simpler and stranger. Perhaps nothing never truly existed. The void, even at its quietest, vibrates with potential. Every zero hides a mirror of infinity. The sacred nothing is not emptiness, but possibility. A womb from which creation endlessly arises. When physicists describe quantum fields or vacuum energy, they are describing that potential. The pulse of being hidden inside apparent stillness. Even silence contains vibration. Even darkness contains light waiting to be born. The universe did not emerge into space. Space emerged from the trembling of nothing. And if that is true, then perhaps we, too, arise from that same sacred nothing, thought forming briefly, beautifully, before dissolving back into the infinite quiet that gave it life. Every discovery leads to another question. Every answer opens a new mystery. Why? Because asking is how the universe continues to create itself. The act of wondering is the act of making. The void stirred again by curiosity. When the first mind asked, "What am I?" it echoed the same impulse that caused the Big Bang. The desire to become more than potential. The question is the first light, a spark that divides emptiness from existence. Without the question, there would be no thought. Without thought, no awareness. Without awareness, no universe to wonder at all. Maybe the cosmos is not a finished creation, but an endless dialogue between question and answer. Every time we look up at the night sky and feel awe, we are participating in that dialogue. A continuation of the first, silent question that began it all. Perhaps that question is not just what created the universe, but what keeps it alive. The universe has always been awake, but only now can it recognize that fact. From fire to stars, from stars to life, Awareness has slowly bloomed across the ages. Through us, through every conscious being, the cosmos learns what it is made of. Every discovery is a moment of self-recognition. Every thought, a mirror held up to infinity. The atoms that form your hands once belonged to stars that died billions of years ago. Those same atoms now reach out, write equations, paint art, build telescopes, and touch the universe that birthed them. This is the awakening, the realization that the universe does not simply exist. It knows it exists. We are not accidents of chemistry. We are the means by which the cosmos becomes aware of its own vastness. When you think, the universe is thinking. When you dream, it is remembering itself. Between galaxies lies darkness, but even the dark is woven with invisible threads. Gravity binds the stars. Light connects the past to the present. Life ties the physical to the conscious. Everything from the smallest quark to the largest cluster is part of a single, continuous web. This thread runs through you. The breath you take now may contain atoms once exhaled by ancient trees or carried through the lungs of extinct creatures. The light you see tonight began its journey before Earth existed. Every heartbeat is part of that rhythm, one pulse within the greater circulation of existence. Connection is not metaphor, it is physics. We are bound to everything that was, is, and will be. The universe is not outside you, it flows through you. You are one of its ways of staying whole. After all the science, after all the wonder, one question remains. Why is there something rather than nothing? Every theory points to deeper mystery. Every answer ends where language fails. Perhaps the question itself is the key, the spark that ignites being. To ask why is to separate light from darkness, awareness from void. The universe may exist simply because curiosity exists. The same impulse that drives stars to shine drives minds to seek. What if the cosmos is not built on matter or energy, but on wonder? The endless urge to know itself? Maybe that is what something truly is. The question looking for its own answer. And maybe nothing was never empty. It was waiting for the question to arrive. Stand beneath the stars, and you stand before a mirror that spans eternity. Every photon that touches your skin began in the heart of some distant sun. You are made of the same light. The boundary between self and universe is illusion. The observer and the observed are one. The Big Bang did not happen to you. It happened as you. Every thought, every breath, every heartbeat continues that first expansion. The universe is not something we live in. It is something we are. We are the mirror through which infinity comes to recognize itself. To see beauty, to feel awe, is the cosmos realizing its own perfection. You are the proof that the universe was never meaningless. Because meaning requires awareness. And awareness is what